Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Porchlight TV, where this week we are talking with Marissa, who is a social media expert guru. And I'm going to let her introduce herself, and she can tell you a little bit of background. And yeah, so welcome, Marissa. Thank you so much for joining us this week. So yeah, if you want to kind of tell everybody, your name, your business, what you do, that would be great.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Tracy. My name's Marissa Caldwell. I am a social media expert. I call myself a social media maven, but I mean, I like making up my own job titles. So, right. I work with Pubcraft. That is the company that is run by one of my best friends, Lori Cooper. It's just the two of us, and we do social media marketing and digital advertising for entrepreneurs, which can be anything from dance troupes to theater companies to real estate agents to authors. Whatever you're into, if you're your own business, we can help you.
Yeah, that's right. That's the thing with social media. The landscape of marketing has changed so dramatically over the last 3, 5, 10 years, even this year. Things are changing so rapidly. And I know it's hard for people to sometimes keep up, and real estate is no different. I mean, unfortunately, I think we're one of the last industries to kind of get on board with social media. I don't know if that's a generational thing or what it is, but I know social media is super important in the real estate industry. And kind of what are your thoughts around that? Why should we kind of pay attention to social media or focus, have our efforts focused on social media? Do you have any thoughts around that?
Yeah, sure. Well, I don't remember where my stats are from anymore, but I have stats that say that 5 new people join Facebook every second.
Wow.
So that it's still growing insanely. We always say that depending on your market, your audience might not necessarily be on Twitter. They might not necessarily be on Instagram, but almost every single person has Facebook. It's just kind of like the baseline social media thing that people do. Even people's grandmothers have Facebook, and it's just so they can keep up with their grandchildren, and it's very sweet. But basically everybody is on Facebook. So no matter who you're trying to reach, no matter what your audience looks like, no matter what demographics you're playing with, your audience is on Facebook, basically. And the reason that I like social media so much is because the focus is on social. So it's not necessarily like buy my things, pay me money, send me money all the time. It's more casual. It's more fun. You can bring out your personality in it because people expect to hear from individuals. They expect to hear from you. Yeah. So you can do fun things with your voice, and it's free, which is also amazing.
I know.
It's definitely one of the most powerful marketing tools that doesn't have to cost you any money.
Yes, and in our industry, I mean, advertising can be very expensive, depending on what you do. If you are doing newspaper advertising or billboard advertising, bus bench advertising, whatever it is, it definitely can add up. And that's the one thing I've noticed, with social media, like you say, there are so many things that you can be doing within social media that's free, that can get you right in front of your ideal client. And I really like what you said about social media, kind of you can be yourself in social media. And I think for a lot of people, or not a lot, but some people have a hard time with that still, especially in our industry, because we're a professional industry. And I know people sometimes can be quite stiff in how they deliver things, and that's so not what social media is about. It's about showing, like you say, your human side, and if you got a funny bone, that you want to showcase and stuff. And I agree with you. It's a fantastic platform, and it's super important that real estate agents kind of jump on board with this. Now, do you have any kind of baseline kind of tips or tools as to where should somebody start that's either just getting into social media, or maybe wants to switch things up with social media? Like where's a good starting point for real estate agents?
Well, I would join Facebook if you're not on Facebook.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
join Facebook, and I would make yourself a Facebook page for your business,
Yes.
instead of just operating from your profile. Absolutely, always make yourself a Facebook page, even if only because Facebook pages will gather data for you on who's reading and liking and commenting, and that'll help you target what you're doing. And if you're not reaching the right audience, it lets you know that, and then you can redirect what you're doing. You can reevaluate your efforts.
Yeah, that's right.
Profiles don't have that capability. So get yourself a Facebook page for sure. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be the thing that you spend all your time on. If you pop on like once every other day, that's good. Just like ease yourself into it. My baseline tip for keeping things like casual but professional is just to use contractions. It sounds very basic, but instead of saying I cannot, say can't. And it adds a little bit of casual flair to it without sounding unprofessional. And because when you stop using contractions, which can be the you can tend toward it when you're trying to sound really professional. All of a sudden, you sound a bit like a robot, and you're not a human anymore.
Right.
And then there's no voice, there's no personality behind it. So I would say just use contractions.
Well, and you know what's
every
funny?
other day, use contractions.
And one of the ones that I use, like, it's so funny. Like, I use this obviously between my friends, but instead of saying probably, I say probably all the time, when I'm texting. And I don't necessarily say that on Facebook, but like I get, I get what you mean about like kind of taking down that veil of the, not being professional, because you can be professional at the same time, but having that stiff corporate kind of personality where people feel that they can't really talk to you or connect with you and stuff like that. So, so now are you seeing any sort of like trends with social media or any other tools and stuff that real estate agents should be using or paying attention to?
I am seeing a very big increase in the use of Instagram. If you go on Instagram and you hate it, don't use it. That's fine. People will be able to tell that you hate it. It's one of those things. Okay. Where like if you really hate Twitter or you really hate Instagram, or like if you really, really don't like Facebook, use your Facebook page as a billboard and just, like set it and leave it and just do what you like, because people will be able to tell that you like what you're doing.
Okay.
So pick the lesser of the evils. But I can't say that Instagram is the fastest growing social media network right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, what's the, like, what would be the main difference with posting on Instagram versus posting on Facebook? Like, since, I mean, Facebook and Instagram are both owned by the same company, like, how do they differentiate the two? Why would you want to be on one on the other, not on the other? And I guess you've answered my next question is, is it okay not to be on both? So I guess we'll start with, what's the main posting differences between Facebook and Instagram?
Well, Instagram is mainly visual. People have taken to what they call mini blogging in the written content of your Instagram post, where before people would write a couple sentences and be done with it, and now people will write full miniature blog posts in their Instagram posts. And it again depends on your audience. If there's someone that likes to read your content, then absolutely don't limit yourself to not writing on Instagram. You absolutely can. But the way that Instagram works is that it's mostly picture, and then like your first like 5 or 6 words on the bottom, and that's it. So that's the main difference between them, is Facebook shows you the writing first and then a picture, and Instagram shows you almost only just the picture and then a little bit of writing at the bottom, unless you click to read more or want to blow up that picture more.
Right.
then, and Facebook and Instagram both have the read more options too, where Facebook gives you a little bit more text before it cuts it off.
Yeah.
The other main difference is hashtags. Instagram is much more searchable than Facebook is, and that is because of the use of hashtags. So, and it's something that carried over from Twitter, and because Instagram lends itself to being such like a pretty, very aesthetic focused social media platform, it attracts a lot of young people.
Yeah.
And by young people, I mean millennials who are, now my age and are looking to buy houses.
Yeah, that's right.
Some of the lucky ones, anyway. Some of the lucky ones are looking to buy.
So if you're,
but so because real estate specifically is such a visual medium, it's all about like pictures and videos and showing people what they're getting rather than telling people what they're getting. It lends itself very well to Instagram because you can have these like perfectly staged, decorated homes with these gorgeous pictures or these really nice panoramic videos, and that's all that people need to see. And then they just need a little bit of information and they're good to go. And you can use all these hashtags that will let people find it if they're looking for houses, like hashtag open house, hashtag house for sale, tagging the location, the city that you're in. This is one of my things. A lot of people have Instagram profiles and don't write where they're from or where they're working in their Instagram bio. And I'm like, I would love to buy from you. I would love to work with you, but I have no idea where you are.
That's funny. That's
my one quick little tip for Instagram. Make room in your bio to be like, I'm in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, by the way.
Right.
Like this is where I work, because otherwise people might love your stuff, but they might be like 5 states over and not know where you are.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So would you what I'm hearing here, like with Instagram, it's more to get people's attention, you need to have scroll stopping photos for people to grab their attention, whereas Facebook, it's more the first couple sentences that you're kind of putting out on Facebook to grab people's attention. So I guess you can look at it this way, like if you're more comfortable in writing, maybe you'd find Facebook a little more comfortable to, go with it. But if that's not your strong suit, then, you've got the option of Instagram and to make things look pretty and use great photos and all of that. Now, talking about hashtags, so, what would you say is the maximum amount that you can use, and why, should you be, because I know Facebook allows you to, if you post on Facebook, it goes to Instagram and vice versa. Can you talk a bit about the advantages and the disadvantage of, I guess, cross-posting, and then, so I've got 2 questions now, and the use of hashtags?
Sure. Facebook Facebook will highlight the hashtag as a link, but nobody really uses hashtags on Facebook. No one searches for things via hashtags on Facebook.
Okay.
Instagram has now even let you follow hashtags instead of following users. So if you are really, really interested in a specific topic that has 1 or 2 hashtags attached to it, you can follow that hashtag, and then people that you aren't following, their posts that use that hashtag will come up in my feed. So hashtags are a lot more powerful on Instagram for sure. So when it comes to cross-posting, Instagram lets you use maximum 30 hashtags in your post. It sounds like a lot, but you'd be surprised how quickly you can be like, oh, now I'm at 31 and I have to choose. Again, because it's such an aesthetic platform, some people put all their hashtags in the first comment of the post and leave it out of their written. What both Tracy and I do on our social media is we leave a couple dots and then put all our hashtags at the bottom. So it's like writing, some nice clean empty space, and then hashtags. You can do whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong answer. But if I'm
just gonna, I was just going to say, and I'm just going to do a shameless plug, talking about following hashtags. If anybody is not on Instagram and wants to follow Porchlight on Instagram. I do, hashtag Porchlight, and as well as Porchlight Collective, which is my free Facebook group. So anyways, just giving a shameless plug. If you're wanting to follow Porchlight on Instagram, hashtag Porchlight. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I had to jump in.
No, that's so fun. And that's what's neat about it too, is like, even if people don't follow your profile, they can follow your hashtags very easily. So like if it was like hashtag Marissa sells homes, they don't have to follow me, they can follow my hashtag. But because you can put all these 30 honkin' hashtags at the bottom of your post, when it comes to cross posting on Facebook, it's going to look really weird, because that's not how Facebook looks. You don't have 30 hashtags all grouped together in a Facebook post, because no one really uses hashtags on Facebook.
Right. And it's going to look obvious that you did that you've, cross posted. And so essentially, you're not really there, even though you've posted something on Facebook, you're not really there.
Yeah, I always advise against cross-posting. I know it takes a little bit more time, but the platforms are so different, and the way that the posts look on all the platforms and what's best for each platform to get the most interactions and engagement is so different that even when I'm working with a client and I'm doing their social media for them, I take the time, I make a post on Facebook, I change it a little bit. I copy and paste the written part, absolutely. I use the same graphic, sure. But when I post it on Instagram, I take the time and I put all the hashtags at the bottom that I didn't do on Facebook.
Right.
Maybe I shorten the written content a little bit. And I resize the image if I need to, because Instagram's all about the squares, and then I take the same thing and I post it to Twitter, and maybe I do 2 or 3 tweets to get a bunch of information in. If I want to link them all together, I can do that. I still use the same graphic. I pick like my top 3 hashtags or something like that to use on Twitter. And it takes me maybe like 15 minutes, maybe 20, to do 3 posts instead of 1, and then it looks weird on the other 2.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because the example I always use is posting on Facebook, and then it automatically posts on Twitter. Those are really, really, really different platforms, and they operate in very different ways. And so it's nice because the pro is it saves you time. Of course, it saves you time. But on Twitter, it gives you almost 240 characters, and then it gives you the link to take people to your Facebook post anyway. And people that are on Twitter don't want to have to go to Facebook and then come back to Twitter. They want to just be on Twitter.
And again, too, it's, then, you're looking like you're not there on Twitter. Mm-hmm. When they see that link that says, to click on to take you back to Facebook, it's the same thing. So then what's the point? And now, what's your advice? Like, there are so many platforms out there. I mean, there's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, like there's so many of them. I think we briefly talked about it at the beginning, like, are people at a disadvantage if they're not on everything, or can you still have the same effect in your business by choosing 1 or 2 different platforms? Like, should we be everywhere, or should we just choose 1 or 2 that we're comfortable with?
That depends on your time and how much you can delegate things, because social media can be a real-time suck.
Yes.
And if you have someone that can take control of a couple platforms for you, or if you have staff that's doing a lot of your other stuff, and then you just have to be the figurehead that's on all the social media, and you can spend your time making connections and networking, and now it's online instead of going to parties, think of it that way. Then that's great, do everything. But I would say pick your top 3, maybe top 2, and focus on those. There is a benefit when it comes to visibility and discoverability, being on everything, because when someone Googles you, all of a sudden you have like 15 different social media sites that come up that are all under your name. If someone starts searching for real estate agents on Twitter, but you're not on Twitter, they can't find you.
They can't find you. Yeah.
If they search on Facebook, you're not on Facebook, they can't find you. So it never hurts to leave, what I say is leave a billboard account. So, you know, like grab your Twitter handle before someone else takes it, set up your Facebook page, grab a little page on Instagram. And if your whole Instagram account just links back to where people can find you on Twitter and gives you, gives people your email and directs people to your website, that's fine. Because if I'm looking for someone on Instagram, I can still find you, but then it'll direct me to where you hang out more. If that makes sense.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about posting and stuff like that, probably the biggest question that like, or a question or problem that a lot of people have is like, what do you post? Like, I know in our industry, I see a lot of real estate agents posting all about themselves, how many houses they've sold, how fast they sold it, you know, how many listings they have. And is that what they should be posting about, or what do people want to see? Like what should people ideally be posting about?
That's a very good question. We have a general rule we like to stick to, where it's 80% fun, 20% promo. So if you think about it, where for every one purely promotional, here's how awesome I am, here's a new listing that's come out, you know, here's a new accomplishment that I've just achieved, you have another 5 posts that are fun.
Right.
And you know, and it doesn't always have to be like, oh, I need to think of 4 things, the fun that I can post, so I can post this one thing. Don't worry about that. But just if someone scrolls through your feed on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, wherever, and all they see is, you know, work with me, pay me money, pay me money, pay me money,
Yeah.
then they're not going to hang around. And so I like to ask people to pick theme days. It sounds really simple and weird, but if you have something that works really well with your brand, I'm going to use authors as an example because they're the ones that are up here. So we have authors where they're like, I really like wine and I really like my cat. You know, and I'm like, and it's fine because they write romance. So, you know, like having a sassy cat makes sense. And, you know, having a drink of wine every Wednesday makes sense too. You know, like they curl up with a new book, they have a glass of wine.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so like make it work with your brand, make it work with who you are. But if you're really, really stuck for content, you know, wine Wednesdays and catter days on Saturdays. You know, and it's just like, here's a weekly post about my cat.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
and
funny.
I'm like, yeah. And I mean, like, and it doesn't have to be like super, super frivolous either.
Right.
You know, you like your wine Wednesday post can be like, cheersing to another sale. This is my favorite bottle of wine that I like to buy every time I have a new sale to celebrate.
And that's fantastic. That's a great way of promoting yourself, but yet you're also, you know, giving them some helpful info if they like wine. You know, this is a great bottle. Check it out. And I had a question and oh yes. So do you have like, I know in our industry, like, you know, time is sometimes not on our side because like I've always said, if I could have 35 hours in a 24-hour day, I would get so much done. So are there any tools or apps or any sort of advice that you could give to make things easier when it comes to marketing on social media?
Why, yes, Tracy, I have a top 5 list of tools.
Perfect. What good timing. Yeah. So, all right, well, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. I did want to add one little addendum to my last comment about what to post. The way it helps also if you can't think of a theme day and, you know, like you don't want to just hold your cat up next to a for sale sign and be like, look, it's Catter Day. You know, then you either want to inspire or teach, basically. Okay. So you can inspire by showing people the kind of lifestyle they could have if they worked with you. You know, here's a dream house that I'm selling right now. It's gorgeous. Here's a really special feature about it that I think is really neat. If you're looking to sell your house, here's a really easy way to do like a little bit of DIY home reno. that will really pique the interest of people, like putting cookies in the oven before an open house. Yeah. That kind of thing. And that was a little bit of inspire and teaching at the same time. So like if you share little tips or either make people want to live like you and be like you, or teach people how to do what you're doing, basically. And not obviously everything, but don't forget to dust your baseboards before people come over to your house. This is something that a lot of people forget, and then they're like, gross, So it's like, if it helps to think of it that way too, if you're not into the theme days, either be like, this is something to aspire to. I want to inspire you to live a more calm life by working with me. Here's a testimonial of a client who had a fantastic time. You can have a fantastic time too, or here's a helpful tip. Here's something I noticed today. Here's a feature of an open house. That's something that's really easy. That's under $100 that you can go out and get yourself too. And it made all the difference. Yeah. That kind of thing. So my top 5 social media tools, I'm going to reach over and grab my book. One, if you find, obviously because you are so busy, you have like half an hour each week to do all of your social media for the week. There's a lot of scheduling apps out there. I like Hootsuite. It's one of the most well-known ones. The reason I like it is because it comes with Hootsuite Academy that will teach you how to do things and give you tips and resources. And it's kind of like you're having your own social media guru within your social media scheduling app.
Yeah, and you can kind of, learn at your own pace, digest as much as you want and come back and then, learn some more tips and stuff like that. So having that support system is huge.
Exactly. Yes. And the other nice thing about Hootsuite is they pretty recently just started working with Instagram as well. So now you can schedule posts for Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram all at the same time, all in the same Hootsuite.com online app, which is really nice.
Perfect. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Number 2, Canva. Tracy's talked
about this before. Canva.
Yes, it's Canvas without the S, so canva.com. It's amazing because it gives you templates that are the exact perfect size for whatever graphic you need. If you're making your Facebook page for your first time, it will let you for free. And the other thing is it's free. It will let you pick, I want to make a Facebook cover photo. And it will be the exact size that you need a Facebook cover photo to be. And it comes with free stock art. If the stock art isn't free, it's only $1. And it's so user friendly. It's really, really intuitive. You don't have to be a graphic designer. And it comes with templates too. So It's not just, here's the perfect size. It's also like, here's 15 examples of real estate agent Facebook cover photos, and you can change the color, you can change a graphic, you can put your name in instead, but it does a lot of the work for you. And it's
super user friendly. And it's funny you say like the pictures are only $1. Like, I mean, it's $1, right? But it's funny when I do my stuff, they have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of pictures that you can use. And I try to use the free ones because even though it's $1, it just irks me. But I've used the $1 images because if I'm stuck and I can't find something, it's super easy and super, super affordable to do. So fantastic tool. I'm a huge advocate of Canva and super user friendly.
Mm-hmm. And if you find you're using it a lot, Canva for Work, or I think they call it Canva Pro now, it's the one level up paid version. It's only $12 US a month, and it's amazing. Like that's what we use. Of course, I spend a lot of my time making graphics for social media, obviously, but it lets you gives you access to so many more stock photos, and so you don't have to pay $1 for everything. And if you find you're spending $12 a month ticking off different different stock arts anyway, you might as well. And it lets you create transparent background images. So you can make your own logo and save it as a PNG, and it will have a transparent background, so you don't have to be stuck with that white or black background or whatever you need, which is also very, very cool. And it has a resizing option, which is my new favorite thing. So if I'm making a Facebook cover photo and I'm like, you know what, this would also make an excellent Facebook post, I can just resize it and it makes another graphic that's the perfect size for a Facebook post photo. And then I can go and resize it and make it an Instagram graphic. And it's all included in the Pro. And it's, I like, you know, like you do you, but I'm a big advocate of the Pro.
And you know what, me too. I love, for $12 a month, honestly, it's one of the best business expenses that I have.
Yeah, absolutely. And it lets you set your brand colors that you just save. It lets you set brand fonts. So if you're like, I'm going to use these 3 fonts, and I use, for example, right back here, we use that red and that orange in everything we do, and I have them saved on Canva. So every time I go to make any color changes, they're the first 2 colors that pop up. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Super convenient. Awesome. So that was number 2.
That was number 2. Number 3 is my new favorite thing. It's called Linktree. Tracy's a big fan of this too. And the website isn't linktree.com. It's linktr.ee. So linktr.ee. That's the website. And it's fantastic because it's also free. And I should also add that the base level of Hootsuite is free as well. So if you only have 3 platforms, you don't need to pay for Hootsuite either, which is great. But Linktree is free. There is a paid version that lets you have more customization, more background choices, that kind of thing. I've never encountered a client that needs the Pro version. I've encountered clients that want it because it's so much fun. But Linktree is amazing because it gives you a landing page where you can instantly customize all of the buttons and links that take people wherever you want them to go. So this is specifically useful for Instagram. Instagram only lets you have one live link.
Yeah.
So with that one link, if you use a Linktree link, then your website is, for example, linktr.ee/pubcraft team, for example. And you click on that and it takes you to a landing page where there's a bunch of buttons and you can customize it all in the back end. It's really simple, super user-friendly. You type in a title for the button, you type in the link and you're done. On the back end, it's great. And you can turn links on and off too. So if you have a button that you don't want to delete, but you just don't need right now, you can turn it off and then turn it back on. And it lets you direct people to literally anywhere that you would like them to go with one link. So all of your Facebook, all of your Instagram posts can just say link in bio, go to my link in bio, click the link in my bio, and it's an evergreen link that will always take them wherever they need to go.
Yeah, because before in Instagram, it was like you would be constantly changing your link in bio to whatever you were talking about. So, I mean, this makes it super convenient to have, you just have that in your bio 24/7 all the time, and then taking you over to Linktree, right?
Yeah.
To then have all the other things that you could switch out whenever you want to, and then allowing them to look at multiple things that, like you say, you want to direct them to go, whether it's your website or whatever, you know, a Facebook landing page or whatever. So yeah, super convenient.
Yeah, and if you're not a huge fan of Instagram, it's really excellent because, like I said, you can use it as a billboard, and then your link in bio will take them to everywhere that you are active. So you can put a link to where they can find you on Twitter. They're like, connect with me on Twitter, connect with me on Facebook. Here's a link to my Facebook group. You know, here's a link to my Facebook page. Here's a link to my website. Here's a link to a specific page on my website. You know, here's a link to where all the listings for the company that I'm working with are all posted. You know, there's no real limit on links either. So, you know, don't go crazy, but you don't have to worry about running out of room. You know, you can build a list of literally everywhere that you would like people to be able to go. And it's that really wonderful thing about social media where you can interconnect everything. So your Instagram can link to to your Twitter can link to your Facebook links to your Twitter and your Instagram, your website goes everywhere. If you have a newsletter, you can have like sign up for my newsletter in your Linktree link that you use on Instagram. And it all just feeds into making sure that you keep people in your audience in like a little corral. The more gates you have, they're one-way gates. So the idea is that you have all these gates swinging open that get people in that you can connect with. And then once they're in, they just keep going around in a circle.
Okay. Sorry, go on.
Number 4 is Biteable. Biteable.com is a really excellent video creation online app. So the great thing about it is you don't have to download anything on your computer. It's entirely based through the Biteable website. And it has a free level. So if you're not sure about it, you don't have to pay to try it. You do need to upgrade to a membership in order to be able to remove their watermark from your videos. But it's again, it's not an expense. It's not a huge expense. And if you find you are creating a lot of your own videos, if you find you like taking panoramic shots of each room, and then Biteable would let you put all of them in one video very, very easily. And it's again, wildly user-friendly. You don't have to be good at editing videos to
because some of the software programs for video editing is like, oh my God, I need a master's in like how to understand the lingo. So to have it user-friendly is, again, time saving, which we're all looking for, super convenient and not expensive.
Exactly. And the nice thing about Biteable is, again, it's very, very simple. So if you want to get into really high-tech video editing, it's probably not the tool for you. But if all you want to do is show pictures or short video clips in a string with writing on top, it'll do it for you, and it'll look clean and professional, and it makes it, again, the perfect size for sharing on social media. So it's super a really important. Yeah, super important. Perfect. So we have one more, and then we are almost out of time. So number 5. I always like to point people toward the insights and analytics that are inherent in social media platforms, because a lot of people just aren't aware of them or don't use them.
Right.
So as soon as you have a Facebook page, you have a little tab that's called Insights, where it gathers all kinds of data for you, and really, really useful data that it's gathering for you for free. And it tells you it tells you who's interacting most with your posts, who you're reaching, what kind of impressions you're getting, and either it helps you find who your audience is if you're not sure, because you can be like, okay, these are the people that are really interested in what I'm posting. Or on the other hand, if you know who your target audience is and you're not reaching them, it lets you know that right away. So you can make changes, you can experiment, you can run different ads if you'd like, you can make different posts, try to target different people, and see if you can change your audience direction a little bit. And if you don't check, you'll never know.
Exactly. And I agree 1,000 times. Like, I mean, I think that's one thing that is underutilized are the analytics that you have access to. Like, it's the equivalent of like having Mark Zuckerberg in your back pocket saying, you know what, Tracy, you posted that on Wednesday and it went out to so-and-so and so-and-so when that's not where I wanted it to go. So to have that kind of instant information is so valuable, because why would I keep wasting my efforts on sending the same information out that I think is going in one direction and it's not, when you could be making improvements and getting to your ideal client? And it's something that I think is totally underutilized, but so important. So thank you for bringing that up, because I mean, absolutely. I think it's a useful tool that everybody should try and get used to using, because it's so valuable.
And Instagram has it too. If you mark your Instagram account as business instead of personal, all of a sudden, again, you have all this access to analytics. You can look at who's viewing your story. You have analytics that gives you demographics about the kind of people that are engaging.
If you're wanting to reach first time home buyers, you know, in that certain age bracket, then you're going to know whether you're reaching them or not.
Exactly. And Facebook even has a really amazing tool for businesses. It's facebook.com/business. And it will take you through how to do literally everything that you would like to do to market your business on Facebook.
That's awesome.
It's a really, really fantastic help tool. I think it's under help. But you can just go to facebook.com/business. And, you know, if you're like, I want to set up a page, but I really know nothing about Facebook, how do I set up a page? It takes you through how to set up a page. It takes you through every kind of ad you could ever want to run. It gives you lots of tips about how to best use Facebook for marketing. If you have some spare time or if you have a question, it also has a really excellent search function within Facebook Business and their help section. So it's something not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people use, but Facebook has it and it's there, and they update it constantly because they're the ones that get the updates first, right? Yeah. So even if you have a social media expert, facebook.com/business is going to get the new updates before I do, you know. Yeah. So it's always the most up to date, and it's also really, really helpful, and again, totally free. It's entirely free.
Yeah. Yeah. That is awesome, Marissa. Thank you so much. You've given us so many useful tools. I will we'll compile a list for everybody and make sure that everybody gets a copy of Marissa's top 5 tools that we should all be using in our real estate business to essentially save us time, be more productive, and reach those people that we want to reach to eventually, you know, close more deals. So thank you so much, Marissa. Exactly, right? That's what it's all about. So yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate the time you've taken to talk with us and give us so many great tips and tools. And yeah, I can't wait to chat with you again.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you again for having me. This was fun.
All right. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.